The Galactic Council sat in a tall, glowing chamber made of silver stone and pulsing blue light. Thousands of alien eyes, tentacles, and blinking sensors stared at one large screen floating in the center. The message had come from a small blue planet Earth. "Let's see what these humans think is worth sending to the galaxy," chuckled Supreme Leader Korin of the Zarn Empire. He was tall, dark-skinned, with sharp teeth and red glowing eyes. The message began. A cat danced in front of a mirror. Then the cat fell. Then someone laughed. The alien stared in silence. Then another video played this time. A man running from a goose. Then more came. Loud music, silly faces, jokes. A banana slipping video, something called memes. A soft chuckle came from one corner. Then another. And suddenly, the entire chamber roared with laughter. From insectoids to gas-based beings, even the cold-hearted Zarn soldiers couldn't hold it in. "This is it?" one commander said, wiping tears from her 3 eyes. "This is humanity's first message to the stars? They are fools," shouted Korin, his laughter turning cruel. "They are clowns. A race of children." All across the galaxy, alien networks picked up the human message. News stations played the videos. Commentators laughed. Young aliens started copying human dances. And behind every joke, Earth became the center of attention, but not in the way they hoped. Humans were now the joke of the galaxy. But not everyone laughed. Dravnek, a quiet observer from the Narlik species, didn't smile. He sat in the back of the council room, his head tilted. His people were thinkers, logical, calm, and precise. And something about Earth's message didn't feel right. Later, Dravnek sat alone in his private lab, replaying the human videos. Over and over. "They're not fools," he whispered. His assistant, a small bot named Linux7, floated beside him. "Then what are they?" "Strategic," he said. Dravnek zoomed into the video frames. Strange symbols flashed in the backgrounds on shirts, walls, even shadows. "Pause," he ordered. The screen froze on a frame showing a man laughing. Behind him, a pattern in the wallpaper blinked. It wasn't just decoration. It was code. What if they're hiding messages inside the humor? Dravnek asked. What if the jokes are just a mask? The bot buzzed nervously. Why would they do that? Dravnek stood up. To make us lower our guard. On Earth, deep inside a hidden bunker, Commander Ilara watched the alien reactions with calm eyes. "They're laughing," said a young analyst beside her. "Good," Ilara replied. "That's the point." Behind her, giant screens tracked alien communications, military movement, and political reactions across thousands of star systems. "They think we're weak," another soldier said. "They think we're stupid," said a third. Ilara smiled. "Let them think that. They've seen our face. Now they'll ignore our hands." She turned to a large steel door marked Project Mirror. Back in space, the laughter continued. More Earth messages came. Comedy sketches, cartoons, jokes with no translation. Aliens began copying human fashion. Even the Zarn warriors held funny video contests on their ships. Earth had become entertainment. But Dravnek was not fooled. He submitted a report to the council. Warning: human media contains hidden layers. It was ignored. "Go watch a banana video, Dravnek," one council member told him. "You worry too much." But then, something strange happened. A Zarn scout ship disappeared near Earth's orbit. The next day, a high-ranking Zarn general fell into a coma after watching one of Earth's funny videos. His mind shut down from a neurological overload. Then a fleet of drones exploded without any signs of attack. And Dravnek received a strange signal. It came from Earth. But it wasn't public. Just 4 words. Phase 1 is done, he showed it to the council. This time, no one laughed. Korin slammed the table. "Find out what they're hiding. I want answers." Dravnek nodded. "Then send me to Earth." Dravnek arrived near Earth's atmosphere in a quiet black ship. From orbit, the planet looked harmless. Clouds moved peacefully. Cities shined with lights. People walked, laughed, and lived. But as he flew closer, his ship picked up strange signals. Dozens of them, each one perfectly hidden inside television broadcasts, music, and even traffic noise. He whispered to himself, "They're using entertainment as camouflage." He landed in a deserted forest. A small drone approached. Him, hovering silently. "Dravnik of Narlix," the drone said in a human voice. "You've seen the joke. Now see the truth." A panel on the ground opened. He stepped into a dark elevator. Down it went. Down and down and down. When the doors opened, Dravnik stood in a large underground facility. Screens lined the walls. Some showed maps of alien empires. Some showed weapons. Others played human comedy. But with overlays of military codes and advanced science, Ilara stepped forward. "Welcome to the real Earth," Dravnik stared. "Why all this? Why not show your strength?" She walked past him. "Because when you're weak, people attack. But when you're a joke, they turn their backs. Then what is the real plan?" Ilara looked him in the eyes. "You'll see. But only if you choose the right side." He looked again at the screens. The laughing man, the goose, the dancing cat. And behind it all, war across the galaxy. Laughter slowly faded into fear. Ships began to vanish. Codes broke systems, and a new signal appeared on every screen in the galaxy. A human face. Serious.com. Not laughing. "Now that we've made you laugh," the voice said, "let's see how you handle fear." The Zarn High Command didn't trust silence. So when Earth stopped sending new messages, they acted. General Volker stood on the bridge of the Skordo, one of the most powerful spy ships in the galaxy. His yellow eyes scanned the large view. Screen showing the planet Earth slowly rotating in space. "No new messages in 9 days, said his second-in-command, Trell. "Strange, isn't it?" "They're hiding something," Volker replied. "No species this noisy goes quiet without a reason." The Skortel had been in orbit for 3 weeks, hidden, cloaked, undetectable. From above, they watched humans like predators studying prey. At first, what they saw made them laugh. "These creatures are obsessed with parties, games, and arguing," Trell noted. "Look at that one," Volker said, pointing to a human screen. "He's yelling at a round object something called football?" Trell squinted. "They call it soccer, I believe." "And that?" Volker asked. "A man shouting into a small box in his hand." "Something they call a podcast. Madness," Volker muttered. "No order, no logic. Just noise. And chaos." But not everything was funny. In one part of the screen, a group of humans trained in a dark facility. They moved quickly, spoke little, and used strange weapons. They weren't part of any country. They wore no flags. Volker zoomed in. "They simulate battles," he said. El raised an eyebrow. "For fun?" "No," Volker said slowly. "For practice." On Earth, in the Arctic Circle, Commander Ilara watched the Zarn ship from deep inside a bunker. A hologram of the ship's position floated. In front of her. "They're watching," said her tech officer Maya. "Let them," Ilara replied. "That's the plan," Maya smiled. "We'll give them something to enjoy." She pressed a button, and a feed began transmitting. On screen, humans danced in the snow, built silly snowmen with alien faces, and sang off-key songs. "They're scanners." "We'll pick this up," Maya said. "They'll believe it," Ilara said. "Because it's what they expect." Back on the Skordo, laughter broke out again. "They're throwing snow at each other," Trell said, shaking his head. "But General." Volker didn't smile. "They're too relaxed," he said. Trell frowned. "But isn't that what we saw before?" "No, something has changed." Volker walked to a dark panel and pressed a code. A secret file opened marked for command eyes, only. It was Dravnik's warning. "They hide code in comedy. Watch closely." Volker Pause the snowball fight video. Zoom in, he ordered. The camera enhanced a snowman's body. On its scarf were lines colored in strange patterns. A language? Trell asked. Maybe a map. Volker whispered. He played a different video, a music show in a desert. In the background, a strange tower blinked with lights. Red, blue, green, red, blue, green. A pattern. Coordinates, Volker said. And this is a test. At the Galactic Data Hub, Dravnik reviewed recent reports. He noticed something odd. Small Zarn scout drones were going dark near Earth, one by one. No alarms. No explosions. Just silence. He typed a message to the council. They're not just hiding messages, they're watching us too. But the council was still distracted. Other species now used human fashion trends. One alien race created a human meme festival. Even military groups played Earth music during training. Fools, Dravnik whispered. They think they're safe. On Earth, Maya spoke quickly. Sir, the Zarn ship just launched a stealth drone. It's entering the atmosphere. Let it, Ilara said. We're ready. The drone moved silently over a quiet village. It scanned everything, a local market. Children playing. Old men playing chess. A group of teens singing near a bonfire. Nothing dangerous. It passed over a cornfield. Then its sensors blinked red. Under the soil was metal. Not farming machines. Not fuel storage. Weapons. The drone sent the data up. The moment the Zarn received. It exploded. Volker shouted. What happened? Trell stared in shock. It self-destructed. But we didn't trigger it. Vokar's face grew pale. They knew it was coming. Far beneath the cornfield, Ilara watched the debris fall. Through the hologram, they sent a drone, Maya said. Ilara nodded. And we sent a message back. Maya looked worried. Should we hit them now? No, Ilara said. Not yet. She walked to a wall and tapped it. A screen lit up, showing a countdown. Phase 2 begins in 3 days. Meanwhile, the Zarn were in full panic. Voka are rushed into a private comms room. Connect me to Dravnik. Seconds later, the Narlik scientist appeared on the screen. You see it now, don't you? Dravnik asked. Vokar's jaw was tight. They let us see what we wanted. Then they showed us what we weren't ready for. Dravnik leaned forward. They are more advanced than we believed. They hide behind joy, Volker said slowly, and strike from silence. Dravnik finished. What do we do? Volker asked, but Dravnik's screen flickered. Then it went dark. A single human voice replaced it. We see you. The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. Leaders from dozens of species argued, shouted, panicked. Some wanted peace. Others wanted war. Many still didn't believe the threat. But one thing was now certain. Humanity had fooled them all. And somewhere, across Earth, millions of people prepared quietly. Calm. Focused. Ready. Back in the Arctic, Ilara stood on a frozen hill, looking. At the night sky. They've been watching, Maya said. And now? Ilara asked. They're afraid. Ilara looked at the stars. Good. She turned and walked back into the bunker. It's time they learned. The clowns were never laughing. For fun. Dravnik stared at the wall-sized screen in his private lab. Blue light flickered across his gray face. The room was silent, except for the soft hum of the machines. Hundreds of Earth videos were playing at once, split across dozens of windows. Jokes, dancing, clumsy pets, and strange human sounds filled the air. But Dravnik wasn't laughing. He rewound one video, a short cartoon with a cat and a flying toaster. Something blinked in the background. Just for a second. There. He whispered. He paused the frame. In the corner of the screen was a poster on a wall. It looked like random shapes to anyone else. But Dravnik had seen something similar before in old military codebooks. Linux 7, he said. Enhance the symbol. Scan for patterns. His assistant bot beeped and floated to the display. Pattern match. 89% similarity to encryption. Grid used in Zarn War Protocol, the bot reported. Dravnik's heart raced. They're copying our code and changing it. He backed away slowly. No, they're testing it. Across the galaxy, in the Galactic Council's deepest data chamber, a quiet alarm blinked red. An old transmission was finally decrypted. It had come from Earth 3 weeks ago, but no one had noticed. Now, the data was unlocked. A technician gasped. "Counselor, you need to see this." The room went dark as the signal played. It was a simple message. A human face, half lit by shadow, stared at the screen. "We've been learning," the voice said softly. "Laughing with you, watching you. But while you were watching our hands, we were building something else." The screen glitched. Then came a second voice, cold, robotic, but human. Phase 2, activated. Then silence. General Volker smashed his fist against the command table. "What do you mean it was buried in a cat video?" he shouted. The technician trembled. "They wrapped their signal under 6 layers of humor algorithms. No one thought to look deeper. Dravnik warned us," Volker growled. "We laughed." He turned to his second in command. "Launch the deep scan probes. I want every Earth broadcast reanalyzed." Trell hesitated. "That'll take weeks, maybe months." "Then you'd better start yesterday," Volker said coldly. "On Earth, deep beneath the Pacific Ocean." Ilara entered a quiet room lit only by a red circle on the wall. "Is it done?" she asked. A technician nodded. "The signal was received. Their systems are confused. Some are crashing." "Good. And the voice?" "We used the AI projection comm, but threatening." "Exactly what you wanted." Ilara stood in silence. "This will shift the balance." Another officer entered. "Ma'am, Zarn probes have started scanning old signals again. They're trying to find the rest of the message," Ilara said. "But they won't." She turned to the red circle. "Activate the mirror protocol. It's time they feel the fear we've hidden beneath their jokes." In a dim room aboard the Zarn flagship, Counselor Vork scanned Earth's old signals. His eyes twitched as he paused frame after frame. "Look at this," he whispered, pointing at a simple sitcom scene. 2 humans talking in a kitchen. But this lamp in the back, it blinks in binary. "Binary?" asked his assistant. "Not just binary," Vork said. "It's sending star coordinates." The assistant's face paled. "Coordinates? To what?" Vork looked up slowly. "To our own ships." He slammed a button. "Lock down all fleet frequencies. Earth isn't just sending jokes, they're spying on us using our own media receivers." Back in Dravnik's lab, the truth became clearer. "They're not sending random signals," he said. "They're learning how we respond, how fast, what we miss, what we fear." Lin X7 hovered silently. "They've been testing us." Dravnik nodded. "Every joke, every song, every dancing animal, it was all a net. And we flew right into it." He pulled up one final video, Earth's official introduction to the galaxy. A group of humans stood in front of a colorful flag smiling. But under the music, under the smiles, was a pulse, a sound wave. He isolated it, played it backward, then slowed it down. A deep voice spoke in perfect Zarn language. "You were never the ones in control." The Galactic Council met in a panic. Dozens of species filled the round chamber. Some screamed for war. Others demanded peace. Some still believed Earth was just playing games. "They're primitives." One shouted. "No," Volker said, standing tall. "They made us look primitive." He played the decrypted clip. The human voice said again, "While you were watching our hands." A second clip followed. A live feed of a Zarn ship drifting, powerless. "No signs of attack," said the tech. "But its AI systems are completely offline." Then a new message appeared. From Earth, one line only, smile, you're being watched. In a quiet park in New York, a little girl drew with chalk. She smiled as she drew stars, planets, and funny alien faces. High above her, invisible drones floated in the sky watching the watchers. Ilara watched the feed from a secret control room. She has no idea she's part of the plan, Maya said. She doesn't need to know, Ilara replied. She's just living. That's what they'll never understand. Maya looked confused. Who? Ilara turned to her. The ones who think fear is strength. They never understood the power of simplicity. She pointed at the screen. That girl's smile may start the biggest war in the galaxy. Back in Dravnik's lab, he played one final Earth clip, a slow song. A sunset, two humans holding hands, and in the background, a countdown hidden in the clouds. When it reached 0, his screen turned black. Then one line appeared. You've seen the surface. Now dig deeper. His lab lights dimmed. The machines shook. And a secret panel opened behind the wall. He stared. In shock, inside was a small box. And on it, human origin, do not touch. He reached forward. And the room went dark. The Galactic Council finally agreed. It was time to speak with Earth. After weeks of silence, secret messages, and strange signal behavior, fear had replaced laughter. Some still believed the humans were just clever pranksters. But others, like General Volker and scientist Ravnak, knew something darker was moving beneath the surface. This is not a game anymore, Volker told the council. We must send a diplomat, make peaceful contact, learn their terms. But what if they don't answer? One council member asked. Volker looked him in the eyes. They will. They're already watching us. A sleek silver envoy ship was sent from the Zarn Empire. It had no weapons, just lights of peace, banners of unity, and a respected ambassador named Kellen aboard. He was calm, wise, and fluent in 20 alien tongues. We go with open minds, Kellen said before launch, and empty hands. His ship entered Earth's orbit slowly. It sent soft pulses, traditional greetings, no threats, no pressure. Earth. Command, this is Kellen of the Galactic Council. We come in peace. Please respond. No reply. He tried again. Earth Command, we mean no harm. We wish only to talk. Still silence. A nervous assistant on the bridge asked, Are they ignoring us? Kellen's eyes narrowed. No, they're listening. The ship began scanning the planet. Strange results came back. Cities full of life, but cold to sensors. Towers. Broadcasting signals, yet unreadable. Then, something even stranger. A dark spot in the Pacific Ocean. No signals, no heat. Like a hole in the map. What is that? Kellen whispered. Suddenly, the ship's power flickered. The lights dimmed. Engines slowed. Kellen stood. Did Earth do that? We don't know, sir. The crew shouted. Then, the ship's main screen turned black. No warning. No static. Just blackness. And then, a face appeared. It was human. A woman. Calm and serious. No name. No title. You tried to make contact, she said softly. Kellen leaned forward. Yes, we come in peace. She didn't smile. You say that now. But you laughed when we spoke first. Kellen hesitated. That was a misunderstanding. No, she said. It was judgment. Kellen tried again. We're sorry. We didn't know what you were truly showing, the woman nodded. That's true. You didn't. Silence fell for a long moment. Kellen asked carefully, May we come down and speak face to face? The woman looked at him for a long time. Then she said 5 words. Contact was never a choice. The screen went black. Then the ship vanished. In the council chambers, alarms rang. They're gone, shouted a Narlik's technician. Kellen's ship, it just disappeared. Destroyed? Asked a voice. No, said Dravnik, who had been watching quietly. Taken. Volker turned to him. Taken where? Dravnik didn't answer right away. Then he spoke one word, Earth. Deep under the Pacific Ocean, in a chamber built from black steel. Kellen opened his eyes. He was alive, but not on his ship. He lay on a metal bed in a quiet room. No guards. No chains, not only silence. Then the door opened, and Alara walked in. "You're lucky," she said. Kellen sat up slowly. "Why am I here? You wanted contact," Alara replied. "You have it." Kellen looked around. "Where is this place?" "A test," she said. He frowned. "For who?" "For us," Alara answered. "To see if we could show you the truth." "Without killing you," Kellen stood. "You took our ship." "We let you land," she said. "And we kept you safe. No harm done." Kellen looked confused. "Then what do you want?" Alara stepped closer. "We want you to return to your council and tell them the old rules don't apply anymore." Kellen asked, "Why not?" "Because while you looked down on us, we built up, quietly, carefully, and now we've passed you." In orbit, Earth's satellites glowed red. Across space, hundreds of ships from other species moved away from Earth's edge. Not because of war, because of fear. They had seen the envoy ship vanish. They had heard the message. Contact was never a choice. Dravnik stood in front of the Galactic Council with the recording. "Earth didn't attack us," he said. "They didn't beg. They didn't threaten. They decided." One council member stood up. "We must respond. We cannot be ruled by fear." Dravnik's voice was calm. "We were never in control to begin with." Kellen returned 1 week later. His ship appeared in orbit, untouched. But something had changed. He walked into the council chamber in silence. "What did they do to you?" Someone asked. Kellen looked at them. "They didn't hurt me. They showed me what they are." "And what are they?" Volker asked. Kellen replied, "Not what we thought." He sat down. They were never asking for peace. They were preparing for power. Back on Earth, Alara stood in front of a screen that showed the galaxy's main communication grid. "Are we sending a message?" Maya asked. Alara nodded. "Just one line." Maya typed it. "Contact has been acknowledged. We'll speak when we're ready." She paused. "They'll panic again." "Let them," Alara said. "We've earned that silence." In a darkened room in a distant galaxy, a small species watched Earth's message on a loop. One asked, "Do we respond?" Another replied, "No, Earth speaks only when it chooses." The third, older and wiser, whispered. They laughed once. Now they listen. The large observation deck was quiet. The aliens stared at the Earth through a giant transparent screen, watching as lights blinked across the planet's surface. It looked peaceful. Too peaceful. "They're ready," whispered Commander Threx. Of the Varn Dominion. Scientist, Kier took a deep breath. "You're sure the humans don't know they're being tested?" "No," Threx said. "That's the point. Down on Earth, something was changing. Satellites were shifting position. One station, buried under Antarctic ice, suddenly came online after 2 decades of silence. They've activated Project Sentinel," Kier said, eyes wide. Threx frowned. "That wasn't supposed to happen until Phase 3. Then they're ahead of the curve." Threx stepped back. "Begin the simulation. Let's see if their instincts are truly different." Back on Earth, in a hidden control room deep under Nevada, alarms lit up. "Sir, we have incoming signals from low orbit. Unidentified. Silent approach," said a young analyst. "General Marta." Stone narrowed her eyes. "Scramble Shadow Wing. No lights. No questions." In less than a minute, 10 sleek black jets rose into the dark sky without a sound. Meanwhile, far above Earth, the aliens began their test. A false asteroid, really a camouflaged surveillance device, entered Earth's atmosphere. It was meant to observe and record how humans reacted to a near crisis. Kier whispered, "Let's see what your instincts say now, Earthlings." But Earth didn't wait. A beam of light shot from an underwater location in the Pacific. It hit the asteroid directly, causing it to spin off course. They hit it? Threx gasped. It wasn't even armed. They don't care, Kier muttered. They saw a threat. In the Nevada base, Marta spoke into a secure channel. Project Orion, stand by. Phase 1 complete. We need confirmation. Was that a decoy? A deep voice replied, Yes, General, that was a test. They're watching us. Marta's jaw clenched. Then make them sweat. On the alien ship, confusion turned to worry. They didn't just react fast, said Kier. They knew it wasn't natural. Threx stared at the display. How? Suddenly, their systems were flooded. Their communication lines jammed. Earth had launched a cyber attack. Quiet, precise, and aggressive. They're inside our system. Shouted a technician. Block them. I can't. They're not following known protocols. They single quotes adapting. Then the screens went black. For 20 seconds, the aliens were blind. When the systems returned, a message blinked across. Every screen in large white letters. We see you. Try again, Kier whispered. This ... This is not how this was supposed to go. Threx looked shaken. End the test, now. But the damage was done. On Earth, General Marta looked at the team and gave a small smile. They blinked first. One of the analysts chuckled nervously. What now, ma'am? Now? Marta turned back to the screen. Now we wait. If that was their test, then I think it's our turn next. In the Varn Dominion's main council chamber, panic spread quickly. The humans had not only passed the test, they had flipped the board. They weren't supposed to know about the test. A council elder shouted, much less fight back. They didn't fight, Threx said quietly. They warned us. The chamber went silent. Kier added, I think we've underestimated something. Not just their technology ... but their minds. Another elder leaned forward. Then it's time we learn what they truly are. Everyone looked at the giant screen. As Earth slowly rotated in view ... and for the first time, no one laughed. The Council of Zarek laughed. They wear cloth on their bodies and eat plants. One alien scoffed. They still bleed red. Another sneered. They are weak, emotion-driven, primitive. High Commander Drav tapped his sharp claw on the edge of the galactic table. They cry when they lose a child. They build small homes instead of great machines. They are not warriors. A young Zarek officer, Letho, hesitated. But they stopped the asteroid. They found us in orbit. That was not weak. Drav looked at him with cold eyes. A trick, luck. They are still only human. Back on Earth, deep in a hidden base under the Colorado mountains, General Elena Graves was listening. Her hands were folded, calm. But her eyes burned. They're still talking, said an officer beside her. Calling us soft. Elena smiled faintly. Let them talk. Outside the bunker, drills were running. Tanks were rolling. Satellites were watching. Earth had heard every word the Zarek said ... and they were preparing ... in orbit. A Zarek stealth pod moved silently toward Earth's upper atmosphere. It's time, Drav ordered. Drop the probes. Let's test their so-called strength. 5 black pods launched from the ship, descending fast. Each was filled with artificial storm shock. Bursts, electromagnetic bombs, disruptor drones. Enough to paralyze half a planet. But before the pods reached 50 kilometers, Earth struck. From a floating station above Antarctica, 5 pinpoint lasers fired in perfect sync. Each pod exploded mid-air, turning into harmless dust. Direct hit. Said a human technician. General Elena gave no reaction. Send the message. A pulse was fired into space. Not a warning. Not a threat. Just a statement. We heard you. Try harder. Back on the Zarek ship, alarms blared. Pod 5 destroyed. Pod 3, gone. Drav jumped to his feet. What? They weren't supposed to see them. Letho stared at the blinking Earth data on his screen. They didn't just see us. They knew what we were sending. Silence filled the bridge. Then, something unexpected happened. Earth's main moon station powered up. Giant panels moved. Lights blinked. And then the humans spoke. Not through sound. Through an image. Every Zarek ship screen lit up with footage. A human soldier kneeling beside his dying comrade. A doctor performing surgery in a war zone. A little girl crying while holding a photo of her parents. Emotion, suffering, pain. Then came the rest. The soldier stood again, fury in his eyes. The doctor stitched wounds while bombs fell nearby. The little girl grew up, joined the military, and stood at the front of a powerful force. Humans didn't hide their pain. They used it. They're showing us ... Letho whispered, what they really are. Drav's claws dug into the table. Weak, Letho turned. No, that's not weakness. That's will. Down on Earth, Elena Graves watched the Zarek fleet change formation. They're scared, said her aide. No, Elena said softly. They're thinking. Moments later, a new signal came from the alien ship. It said, we will return. With respect. The human control room fell silent. Elena stood and looked at her team. Then let them return. And next time, maybe they'll understand kindness is not weakness. Mercy is not fear. She turned toward the window where the stars burned bright above. They called us weak. They'll never make that mistake again. Why are they still alive? Snarled Overlord Tyrex. His long black robes swayed as he paced before the great screen aboard the command vessel. Vorgan's claw, the image of Earth hovered in front of him, blue-green glowing in space. We burned their skies, shattered their satellites, and flooded their cities, hissed his second in command. Var, Tyrex's voice lowered to a growl. And yet they fight, they rebuild, they mock us. A soft chime rang. A technician turned in fear. Overlord, we've lost another patrol ship, Section 4, near the Mars debris field. Var blinked. That's impossible. No ships were there. Apparently, said a quiet voice from the corner, they were. All eyes turned to Ambassador Kez, the only member of the council who had met humans face to face before the war. They told us, Kez said. They do not forget. Tyrex slammed his hand on the control table. I destroyed their moon base. And still, Kez replied calmly, you mocked their pain. You called their courage fake. You laughed when they mourned. Tyrex stepped closer, his voice sharp. What are you saying? I'm saying, Kez said, looking up, there may soon be no planets left to mock, including ours. Deep beneath Earth's surface, in what remained of Colorado Command, General Nia Park studied the war map. Entire continents had fallen. Billions had died, yet Earth still breathed. We have one chance, she said. Not to survive, but to make them regret ever coming here. Her top officers nodded. We can't chase them across the stars. One said, but we can make them afraid to stay in them, Nia finished. A silent command passed. Across the ruins of Earth, hidden launchers opened. Satellites flickered on. Old warships, once thought destroyed, lit up deep in forgotten ocean trenches. And from every point, a signal was broadcast into deep space. We're still here. And we remembered. In the dark regions of the galaxy, alien worlds received the message. One by one, they fell silent. On Gorthon 5, their moons began to blink out. One was gone in a blinding flash. On Thex Prime, the skies screamed as Earth made. Drones faster than light, powered by fury, rained down fire. The humans didn't aim to conquer, they erased, one by one, worlds that had laughed. We're gone. Back aboard Vorgan's claw, panic spread. Our colony on Nibbara is silent. Terra torpedo. Detected near Cartwelve. Tyrex stared at the main screen. Earth still sat there half-ruined, barely breathing. But it had become something worse than dangerous. It had become unpredictable. Varr turned pale. They should have begged us for peace. They didn't, whispered Kez. Then we should have crushed them completely. They didn't let us, Kez answered again. Tyrix leaned on the edge of the console. What do they want? The ship shook. Energy spike. Shouted the technician. It's coming from behind Saturn. The screen turned white. A shape moved through space. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't a missile dot. It was a mobile wormhole. A rip in reality. Through it came something massive, silent. Human-made. A giant asavoy across the system. You mocked our planet. Now you have none. A beam of light erupted, not toward the aliens but toward empty space. A warning shot. Then silence. Hours passed. Kez stood alone, looking at the last known image of Earth. A scarred planet. But still glowing, still alive. Fools. Kez whispered. They thought destruction made them weak. But it made them something more. What now? Asked a frightened crewman. Kez gave no orders. No threats, only a truth. There's no planet left to mock now. Because the humans took that game and ended it. Forever. The sky above Earth was quiet. Too quiet. After months of chaos, fire, and invasion, everything had stopped. The alien ships no longer rained plasma down. Their threats no longer echoed in Earth's orbit. They had vanished, but General Nia Park didn't celebrate. She stood alone in the underground command room, staring at a cracked screen showing an empty part of space. They didn't retreat, she whispered. They're planning something. Her assistant Marcus stepped forward. Maybe they're afraid now, General. We hit back. We destroyed their colonies. You gave them a reason to fear us. Nia shook her head slowly. Machines can destroy planets, but fear? Real fear that comes from something deeper. She turned around and faced her small, tired team. Only a few dozen humans were left to lead what remained of Earth's defenses. It's not over, she said. The real war is just beginning. Far away, in the center of the Galactic Union, a secret meeting took place. 12 species. 12 high leaders, all once proud. All now scared. They wiped out 6 of our planets, said a spider-like being. With 8 glittering eyes. They have no limits. They used weapons we've never seen, growled a thick-scaled warlord from the Zelker species. Even our defense moons couldn't stop them. Then explain this, snapped the glowing cloud being named Vale. It turned the screen toward the others. On it, footage played from a destroyed outpost. The feed showed no missiles, no ships, just humans. Walking straight through fire, through gas, through fear. One of them, a young woman, stood in front of a burning control tower. She smiled. Not with joy, with something else. With purpose. She wasn't carrying any weapon, Vale whispered. No armor. No drones. Just eyes that didn't blink. The chamber fell silent. They said Earth used a secret weapon, murmured one of the leaders. But what if the weapon wasn't a machine? In a hospital deep underground, a little girl named Ava sat up in bed. She was only 8. Her skin was pale, her arms thin from months of hiding in a cold shelter. But her eyes, they burned like stars. Dr. Elaine Cho entered the room and smiled. How are we feeling today? Ava looked at her. The stars are still loud. Elaine paused. What do you mean, sweetie? Ava tilted her head. They're scared, the voices, the ones who came to hurt us. They're afraid now. Elaine's smile faded. Ava had been like this ever since her parents died in the first attack. Since she had stood alone in a crater, untouched, while everything else around her burned. Tests had shown nothing special. No implants, no weapons, nothing. Except her voice. Ava looked at the doctor again. You know what they forgot? Elaine sat beside her. What? They forgot what it means to be human. In the sky above, a strange wave passed through. The stars. It wasn't sound. It wasn't heat. It was emotion. Pure feeling. Rage. Love. Lost. It hit the alien fleets like lightning. Pilots screamed. Computers failed. Ships turned on each other, all without a single bullet fired. In the center of the chaos, a small human ship glided through. Inside it, soldiers sat in silence, no guns drawn. No commands shouted. Just memories. They were broadcasting memories of fallen friends, of last words, of holding the line, of refusing to die quietly. The alien commander gasped in horror as he felt everything. His knees buckled. "This isn't war," he whispered. "This is humanity itself." Back on Earth, Marcus looked at the general in disbelief. "Are you saying we don't need weapons anymore?" Neil looked out the shattered window toward the sky. "We never did," he frowned. "Then what was the real weapon?" She smiled, sad, strong. "It's not a machine. It's not built. It's born." She turned and tapped on a screen showing faces. Not soldiers, children, elders, engineers, mothers, survivors. That feeling when you have nothing left to lose, but still stand up. That's our weapon. That's what broke them. In the ruins of an alien war council, only one leader survived. He crawled toward a broken console and began to type a message. "To all who still hear this," he whispered, "do not invade Earth. Do not mock their weakness. Do not test their pain." He coughed, eyes full of terror. "Their machines can be destroyed. Their cities can fall. But the weapon that kills you lives inside them." And then, before the message finished sending, he fell silent. Ava stood near the hospital window, looking up. The stars didn't scream anymore. They were quiet again. Elaine walked up behind her. "What do you see now?" Ava smiled. "I see peace." "Why?" "Because now they see us.